Okay, so round two, I'm now going to talk about the Giant Advance SL, which was raced by Mark when he was in the Belkin team. At the start of that season, which was 2013, it was called Blanco, and then Belkin came on board for a very brief sponsorship of what had been the Rabobank team. Remember all of that? Oh, feels like a bit of cycling history, and just looking at the bike, there's quite a lot of cycling history on display as well. We've upgraded now for Di2, so it's gone to electronic by now. I remember these came out basically, first saw the green on black in Corsica, in beautiful Porto Vecchio, when the Grand Départ of the Tour de France was at the furthest southerly point it's ever been and is ever likely to be, probably. God, I love that Grand Départ, it was so good. Anyway, Belkin was staying very close to the harbour, and I was staying on the Mega Smeralda, which was the press centre. It was a ferry that sort of took us all around the island before we went back to the mainland of France. That's a long story for no reason at all, other than to say that was when this green was unveiled and Belkin jersey sort of became part of the peloton. I don't think Mark did the tour that year, or did he? I'm going to have to sort of hark back, but anyway, neither here nor there. We're going to talk about the bike, not the Tour de France. The Aliante, he's got one of these saddles. Oh, I love that. I complained about his previous saddle with Cell Italia thing, which was bloody uncomfortable. I rode the Aliante for a very long time. It's got this, you can see it, it's quite a scoopy arrangement, and you can sort of nestle your bum in. We're going aero brakes. See how aero they are not? But anyway, the point is they're being hidden by the frame, and Giant and a whole lot of other companies did this V-brake arrangement to try and get the calipers out of the wind. I don't think the mechanics were big fans of it, even if they were able to sort of get it working pretty smoothly, especially in comparison with production bikes. But you see this huge compromise when you're trying to talk about aero, and then you get this cable whisking out into the wind. I mean, obviously you've got your legs here and they're sort of interrupting that airflow, but that's the same up front, and you see this huge line going to the brakes. So I'm going to ask Mark about what he thought about those brakes when he was sprinting, or trying to jostle for position in the lead out. It would be quite amazing to see what he has to say. Otherwise, we see huge 75 mil rims from Dura-Ace. He's basically a Shimano man through and through. I'm just going to try and think if he ever rode any other group set. We'll come to that later. Anyway, very, very deep Dura-Ace wheels. Talking about the bike again, we see this huge tapering. It goes very, very narrow here, and then it's sort of in reverse. It's narrow here, elongated, and then it flares out in time for the bidon bolts. And then we see the oversized bottom bracket, and I'm pointing down here, and I know what I'm touching, but you probably can't see it, but it's the Di2 battery mount. The battery's not in, so I'm not going to be shifting gears. That's why it's nestled there rather than down in the 11 like I like to shoot the bikes. I think it's a really attractive bike. I think it's still very current. Again, we're going super duper thin Conti tyres. I think it's probably the 21 mil. We'll have a look at that later on when I'm shooting the detail. Given the size of the rims, it's quite amazing to see how much valve is exposed. So that's obviously, in my praise, there must be a valve extender. It's bloody huge. Anyway, it was very easy to pump up the tyres this morning. Okay, I'll do some close-ups and get Mark to talk about it later on. We have seen the evolution of Dura-Ace since the look that I photographed earlier, and we've now got carbon Dura-Ace pedals. Wow, how exciting, not at all. Anyway, and he kept it in tip-top shape.
Hi, Mark Renshaw here. Today I'm with one of the bikes that I've got in my collection from 2013.